Welcome to Narrow Ground Entertainment. I am Steve the Unimpressed, and this is Steve Solo's Minecraft episode 31. Today I am going to work on recording a episode that I have been planning to do for a while. I have been planning to do an episode on maps, and I've never quite gotten to it because I never quite felt like collecting all the information that I need and trying to present it. And to tell you the truth, I still didn't collect all the information that I would need to present to do a video on maps. But I'm going to do it anyway because it's been sitting, the idea has been sitting too long. It's time to, actually work on it. One of the things I'm going to need to do for that is to come down here and grab some paper out of this chest. And let me see, where did I leave all my wood? Not in those. There it is. Also going to grab a bunch of sugarcane because to do anything with maps I'm going to need more paper than 18. And some iron and redstone for compasses. To start with, I am going to make a bunch of maps from the compasses and paper that I just made. Making all the compasses actually used up the bulk of my remaining iron supply for only 27 maps, so it's possible that I should devote some effort to an iron farm in the near future. That's been something that I've been putting off because it's a big project and I don't even know if I want to do a video on it. If I do build an iron farm in the near future, it's a project that I may actually tackle completely off camera and not even do an episode on it. Might just show that I have done it in an episode, because it's not a topic that I can really add anything to. I just am going to follow a tutorial that somebody has already done and build one exactly following somebody else's plan, because I dabble in some of the technical stuff, but iron farms are a little bit out of my reach for the time being. And they're certainly a topic that's important to the community in general, so some of the other better technical Minecraft players have already done plenty of them. There's definitely nothing new that I can add to the topic, so an iron farm will probably be something I do off screen if I do it at all. But enough about things that I'm not going to do in this video, let's talk about things that I am going to do. First and foremost, I am going to make a cartography table. And I'm probably going to take this over to my villager housing over here and put it down and get a cartographer villager. I can't remember whether that new villager that I had cured an episode or two ago wound up assigned a profession yet or not. No, apparently not, because that is the selfsame villager. I'm not sure that that villager has a bed either. I should check on these things from time to time. Anyway. 1, 2... How many beds do I have? No, I did not get a bed for that villager. Or a name. I think I had fished up a name tag with that purpose in mind. Yes, it's right there in my inventory. So why don't I actually go and take care of that? And bring a gate back with me so I can stop chopping down fences. Stand by. I'm back, guys. They don't appear to care that much. Let's put some grass blocks down. Let's get a gate here. Fence there, fence there, fence there. And a gate here. And a fence there. Perfect. Usually I don't use the double gate system like this that I use on all my farm animals for villages, but this is just such a constricted area right now that I think I'm going to do that just so that if one tries to follow me out, I have a chance to push him back in. Now, you. Step this way, please. I'm going to put down a bed. Where's that cartography table? And a cartography table. And now I have a cartographer. Cartographers also trade paper. You can also buy maps from them, so I should actually probably remember that so that next time I don't use up my entire stock of iron when I don't really need to. Gonna need an iron farm at some point anyway, though, so I'll probably build one of those regardless. I'm going to trade some paper to this villager to get past novice level, hopefully. I'm going to have to go get some more paper for that. I can give her a name, though. There. Deb the Cartographer. And I'm going to go get some more paper. Just in case it had not already been made clear, I did not think this episode through all the way. Maybe I should have done that. Probably would have had a little more paper ready. Still, we're getting where we need to go. Alright, let's wait for you to level up. There we go. There's the little pink swirlies. Can buy glass panes and compasses. Oh no, we trade a compass to get an Ocean Explorer map. That was one of the reasons that I wanted to get a cartographer. Cartographers will trade you an Ocean Explorer map and a Woodland Explorer map. The Woodland Explorer map will direct you to a woodland mansion. The Ocean Explorer map will direct you to an ocean monument, which is something I want to find because I actually do have something technical to contribute with ocean monuments. I don't have enough to... Well, I have enough emeralds. I need a compass to actually get this. I think I'm going to hold off on the Ocean Explorer map for the moment, but I will trade away the rest of my paper. At least as much of it as Deb will buy, which is not quite all of it. And actually, maybe I'll save the rest of that for a later use. Now, aside from allowing you to have a cartographer, the Cartography Table itself also allows you to duplicate maps, expand maps, or zoom them out to the next map scale, and lock them so that they won't update anymore. I'm not sure if I'm going to demonstrate all of those today. I'll probably demonstrate zooming out and duplicating, because those are two functions that I use regularly. The main way that I see the lock function used is to create custom images to hang on the walls and things like that. I might do some of those eventually, but I don't really... I'm not a good artist. That's not really my thing. So chances are I won't be doing that. I'm sure I could find some ways to use the lock map function myself, though, if I tried, so maybe I will do that at some point. I bet you that Deb will have reset her trades now. Oh, nope. I stand corrected. Okay, well, night's falling anyway, so let's move on to the next thing. I have definitely mentioned in previous episodes, particularly episodes where I made this map and found these two, that I go a little bit nuts when it comes to making maps. I will readily fill up entire walls with maps and actually tend to dig large underground chambers where I put giant world maps on the floors. I'm going to try to restrain myself from doing stuff like that in this world, and definitely in this video. But one project I do want to undertake today is to map out the rest of my bay. This map is map 0, and I'm probably going to put that up in this corner. One thing that I do to kind of keep track of the various maps and where their positions are supposed to be is I actually am nutty enough that I use a sheet of graph paper, a sheet of real-world graph paper, to keep track of which map goes next to which other map. So I'm actually going to break out a pen and pick a position for that in the relatively near future. Okay, the buried treasure maps are one step up in scale. So, the map that I made of my house is level 0. The buried treasure maps are level 1 of 4. So the map that's in my hand is the top right corner of this buried treasure map. The reason I want to know that is the graph paper that I use has one slightly bolder line every 4 lines. So I want to get each square of the graph paper represents a map that is at scale level 0. And when I get up to scale level 2, so one more zooming out of the buried treasure map, I want the scale level 2 maps to fit entirely within one of the larger squares of my graph paper, because I'm a dork. It does make keeping track of things easier if you're going to use that kind of graph paper, though. Now, 2 of the buried treasure maps I found were the same. Were they all... Okay, yes. The buried treasure maps that I only found 1 of this map that includes my bay, and I found 3 of this one down here. So I'm going to go put those away, and then I'm actually going to duplicate this map. I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to zoom out the duplicate. I have never actually done that with a buried treasure map, either zooming out or duplicating, so I'm not sure what effect that will have on that red X. Back over at the villager housing, I only have the 1 cartography table, even though I could easily make another one. I already made this one. Might as well use it. One of the things you want to make sure that you do before you try to zoom out a map is duplicate it so that you still have a copy of that map. I tend to make at least 2 of every map anyway, and I store one of them in a chest just so that I always have a copy of that map somewhere in case I lose the one that I was using. Now I'm not going to zoom out this map, map ID 0, which is the one that has my house on it. And it actually has this house on it too, because my indicator is still actually visible on the map. So that's interesting. I'm not going to zoom that one out because this buried treasure map is already that one zoomed out 1 step. What I am going to do is duplicate the buried treasure map, possibly. They might be immune to duplication. Nope, they're not. And then I will zoom that one out. To duplicate it, you put... Oh, let's only zoom 1 of those out. To duplicate a map, you put an empty map in the additional slot. To zoom out a map, you put paper in the additional slot. So I'm going to scale this map out 1 more level, and it'll allow me to see this additional area around it. Let's see what that looks like. Alright, things are smaller on this new one, and it does still actually carry the red treasure X. So that's interesting. I didn't know that that was possible. But it turns out if you zoom out a buried treasure map, it will still be a buried treasure map and will still include the red X. I'm not going to zoom out to get a level 3 or level 4 map right now because I honestly don't need to see that much of the world around me. I'm not sure that I've explored far enough to... Well, no, I've gone and found a stronghold, so I have been far enough that there would be stuff that I could locate with that map, but it's not really necessary at the moment. I think I spent so long explaining that the sun is setting again. Yep, there it goes. So I should go over to the house and go to sleep for the night. Again. Now I knew which corner my level 0 map was of the level 1 map. The other reason for making the level 2 map was to figure out which part of the level 2 map my level 1 map was. I now know that it's the lower right-hand corner. And since the larger squares on my graph paper represent the level 2 maps, I can now pick one of those and use it to track the position of my level 2 maps. Which map number is this? Map ID 6. Where's that map ID 5? That might have been one of the other buried treasure maps. I'll have to check on that. However, I can put number 6 in a spot. And since the buried treasure map is number 2, I will put number 2 in the lower right-hand corner of that. And in the upper right-hand corner of map 2, I will put map 0. There, now I'll be able to remember how these 3 map IDs are related to each other. I may include a picture of that in the video, just so that you can see what I'm yammering about. Maybe it'll make more sense if I do that. because it probably doesn't make much sense from me explaining it. Because I don't want to keep running back over to the villager houses, I'm going to go ahead and make a cartography table over here. There. And I guess I'll go put that... Well, no, I'll put it right here. I'm too lazy to walk upstairs also. Now I can duplicate my map number 6 and make another duplicate of map number 2. Now with those, I will come up to the top of my house and start a map library, which I guess I will put in this corner. Let me grab my other 2 maps out of here. Is one of those level number 5? No. What happened to number 5? Trying to avoid having that happen in this game. What I try to do with these is just keep the maps in numerical order. That way I can always find one that I'm looking for. Now, what I usually do when I have these gaps, which usually means that I made a map and forgot about it or lost it, is just put some placeholder item in its place. This is what I mean when I say I have sort of an obsession with mapping. I know exactly how many different maps I can store in a chest, 54, because that's how many slots there are in a chest. And with my graph paper system, I know exactly how they all relate to each other, so I have a way of figuring out which map ID I need when I'm trying to find a particular thing on the map. And by keeping them organized by ID number, I'm able to find the one I'm looking for in the world as well. So that means maps 0 through 53 are in the first double chest of maps. Maps 54 through, I don't know, whatever it is, will be in the second double chest. I'm not going to do the math on that right now. But when I'm trying to figure out what chest a particular map is going to be in, that's an easy way to figure it out. As long as I have not skipped any numbers in my library system. So I don't know what happened to map ID number 5. I'm kind of annoyed that whatever happened to it, I've somehow already lost it. Unless, maybe it's that other buried treasure map. Maybe this will be as simple as taking the other buried treasure map off the wall and duplicating it. No, that's ID number 3. I am extremely confused. Unless I skipped 3? Maybe I skipped both. I definitely skipped both. So 5 is still missing, but I also need to add 3. Glad I caught that before I threw off the numbers in my own library system, just while I was talking about how important it is to keep the numbers straight in my library system. There, now map number 5 will be the only one that's missing from my library, for now. I think there is actually a glitch that will cause the maps to skip numbers when you're making new ones, but I don't really know for sure. So that might be what happened. It's possible that when I made this map ID, it should actually have been number 5, and it just didn't work out that way. All kinds of strangeness. Let's make it day again, and then I will go about mapping the bay. My person indicator on this map is frozen. That's interesting. It still thinks that I'm over in the villager house, which is wrong. I wonder if I can correct that by logging in and logging out quickly. Let's try it. That did work. If your person indicator, your little white marker for player position, gets frozen on the map, logging in and logging back out will, or no, the other way. Logging out and logging back in will fix that. Until you hang it on the wall, apparently. There we go. That is the map's self-position marker. The green one. Player is represented by white. The map itself is represented by a little green marker. I think that only happens if the map is actually on the map, though. I know from this being map 0 and it being kind of the upper left-hand corner of my bay, or I guess that would be the northwest corner, that the rest of my bay is kind of over in this area. It might only extend out to these 4, so I'm going to map those 3 first, and we will see what we come up with. So, to get the next map over, all I need to do is, well, I can actually cross the bridge. There, I am now off the map to the east, so I'm in the next map over, so I can create a new map there. And I'm just going to swim out far enough that that whole map fills in. There we go. This map has my central island on it, and it also has most of what looks like the eastern side of the bay. So that probably will be as far east as I need to map. Maybe I will get away with just those 4 instead of doing the full 9 to map my bay. Let's go do the ones south of this now. There we go. Now we're getting into a little bit more open ocean. Well, not quite. You know what? I think this island actually might be more central in my bay. No. No, it's not. Let's explore up here anyway, though. Oh, this isn't even an island. This is a little peninsula connected to the shoreline. So no, definitely, only those 4 maps is what I'm going to need to have mapped my entire bay. And let me just write down the numbers of those on my chart. 7 is next to 0, to the right of 0. 8 is underneath 7. And as soon as I go off the western end of 8, I will have the last map that I need to finish mapping out my bay. Which looks like that's going to include a good chunk of the farms. Possibly the entirety of the farms. Alright, we're off the western edge of that map. Always go a little bit further into the next map just to make sure that you get the right one. And there we go. It does include pretty much the entirety of my farming area. No, not pretty much. It includes the entirety of the farming area. Which also puts us right next to the llamas, and I am going to give a quick update on the llama farming because I've had some progress there, but I'll save that for the end of the episode. Now I'm going to make some item frames and duplicate all my new maps. I think I already have a duplicate of 0 up there, so I don't need one of those. I do need 7 and 8 and 9. There we go. Hang some more frames on the wall. Map 0 goes there. 7 goes to the right of it. 8 goes beneath 7. And 9 goes in the last spot. Yeah, that's a decent map of my bay. I might actually want to do these 2 maps, because this is sort of the mouth of the bay, and we've established that this is a little peninsula, but I can't quite see the rest of that. I'm sure I'll map the rest of it eventually, because, as I mentioned, obsessed with mapping, but I think I'll leave that alone for now. What I will do is go upstairs and put the rest of these in the map library, and then I have 1 or 2 more things that I'm going to demonstrate that maps can do before I forget about them. This isn't exactly a tutorial video, but I want to give you as much info about maps as I can, since they are one of my favorite things in Minecraft. I'm not really sure why. The last map-related trick I am going to demonstrate also involves banners. And since I don't actually have a name for my bay, I am going to demonstrate it by going over to Tree Dweller Ridge. If you name a banner, actually I think you might be able to do it without naming the banner as well, but you probably want to name the banner. You can use banners to add markers to the Minecraft maps. So I'm going to rename this banner Tree Dweller Ridge. And then I'm going to go over to Tree Dweller Ridge, and I will show you over there what I mean to do with this contraption. Here is the aforementioned village. Let me just plop this banner down next to the sign. And if I right-click on it with the map, there. Get rid of my shield so that we can see it a little bit better. You can see that the banner has been added to the map with the name Tree Dweller Ridge on it. Now I would do that with the smaller scale maps too, but I don't have a smaller scale map that actually shows this position, so I decided to do it with a larger scale map. I could also have done it if I had a name for my bay, but I still haven't come up with one, even though I'm 30 episodes into this series. I should probably figure that out at some point. But for now, it is the way it is. Now, let me run back over to the farm and give you an update on my llama breeding. My update on my llamas is that I have reached strength 4 llamas. I have 2 of them so far, and I have assigned to them yellow as their carpet color. I think the color I'm going to assign to strength 5 when I eventually get to those is blue. So 2 strength 4 llamas so far, and working on getting some more of those in the as near a future as I can. I'm out of time to record, so thank you for watching. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel to see more content from me, and if you'd like to help my channel grow, please share it with your friends. Goodbye and God bless.